Hello, welcome to the live. We're on first live on youtube.com. So we're gonna discuss about the game week 2. The Premier League, let's see the fixtures first. I haven't even seen the fixtures. Alright? Please don't judge me on that. Let's just start. Somebody has it. Oh, I think there's somebody. Can you please comment if you're watching anybody? It's just me trying to say anything. Yeah, we've got it properly. Yeah, please comment if you are watching this, if it's live or something. So, I'm currently in Australia, and okay, fixtures. Just showing results to Google. So for the Premier League match day 2, first game we've got Everton versus West Bromwich Albion. It's in Goodison Park. Although these, home and away fixtures don't make too much of sense because there are not many fans in the stadium. Actually, there are none, rather than their own team members, the crew members. And yeah, teams have to go from bus to different cities, the away team, so that may hamper the performance. And that's it. There's no any atmosphere, literally no atmosphere. So I'm not going to get too much of an advantage. But against West Brom, who lost 3-0 to Leicester City at their own home, and Everton coming from a great win. Actually, it's a great win because they played really well. The Jose Mourinho's team had no any creativity against the defense, and of course, James Rodriguez passing it here and there. Who's like Lionel Messi in this game? Who's Kevin De Bruyne in this game? You know, the best passer in the Premier League. One of the best, of course. It's Kevin De Bruyne, who's the best. Yeah, arguably. But yeah, James Rodriguez, I think it's a really good move. At least from the first game, we can see it's a good move. And Carlo Ancelotti trusting James Rodriguez. And there are a few people who have asked why other top clubs like United, like Tottenham, even like Chelsea. Let's not talk about Chelsea. They've done a lot in transfers this season, this summer. But the other big clubs who hadn't done enough, like Manchester City, who just brought Nathan Ake, I think. I don't think there's any other guy. Just David Silva leaving, James Rodriguez could be a really good replacement. Not like for like replacement, but yeah, the midfield, so a good attacking midfielder like Silva. Yeah, James Rodriguez could be. But why didn't people just trust James Rodriguez like Everton did? I think you cannot just blame other clubs for not trusting him. For one reason, he's not very young, like he was in 2014 World Cup when he hit that great goal from Colombia. I think it was, who was it against? Can you guys comment? I'm just forgetting. I can remember he went out against Brazil and he cried a lot. I can remember his red face. I think Neymar hugged him, and before that, I think he had hit his great goal, and he had I think 5 goals and 2 assists. 2014 World Cup. It was like my just second World Cup which I watched, so it's tough to remember. But yeah, talking about James Rodriguez and talking about how he performed against Tottenham, people couldn't get even closer to him. He had great close control, and he was passing to the left flank of Everton just like that. What Tottenham what Everton were doing. They were really good at switching sides. Like they were carrying the ball mostly from the right wing, and then James got the ball and just whipped the ball to the left wing where there was Richarlison. Richarlison could have had a brace or a hat trick in that match because he had three clear chances. Uh, and I think two of them were created by James Rodriguez himself. So I can see it's a great buy. So talking about the game, West Bromwich Albion versus Everton. This is going to be on Saturday 9 p.m. Australian time. So I think it's going to be on Sunday or something in England. Okay, so West Brom coming from a very bad defeat at Leicester City. The defense looks shambles. I think it's gonna be a very easy game, I guess, for Tottenham because it's their home as well, and they're not very tired because it's their home and they don't have to travel. And I can see a 2-0 win for Everton. 2-0 win here. 2-0 or 3-0. I can't see West Brom scoring. So it can be a 2-0 or 3-0. I'll put my money on 2-0 if it was me betting. So let's talk about the other game, which is, so we've got 9 p.m. game, and then there is Saturday, another game on Saturday in Australia. It's in 11:30. It's Leeds versus Fulham. So Leeds versus Fulham. I think Fulham were beaten by Arsenal 3-0. What a comfortable victory that was. Leeds, Fulham didn't even create anything except that Mitrovic, presence made defenders a little bit, uh, threatened the defense a little bit. But yeah, it really didn't do too much. The Fulham attack, and yeah, the defense was pretty good. I think this is considered the goal in the very few minutes of the game, so they were behind. And also, they had got a wonderful chance, which they missed. For I think in the second minute of the game, and it could have been anything from there. They would lead 1-0, they would sit back. Arsenal, even though are good against, really good with Miguel Arteta, I should say you could say the godson of Pep, at least a student of Guardiola, from his times at Manchester City. Yeah, so Fulham are away at Leeds, and you can't just get enough of Leeds United. You just watch their game against Liverpool, and just take pride that we have got another brilliant team like it was Leicester City back in the days in the Premier League. They are really good attacking wise. I think they have a problem at strikers. They've got only Rodrigo, and I don't think he's that good enough to threaten the defense. He plays well to link up. He's much like Olivier Giroud. He can play the poacher role as well, but I don't think it's too much good of a poacher because in the even in the 2018 World Cup when Diego Costa was very old, he literally carried the game against Portugal. Diego Costa and Rodrigo barely even even played the World Cup, and he was very young and in people's eyes, young people should get priorities in such games. But no, Diego Costa, even though he was old and hadn't done too much, but Atletico Madrid got the chance ahead of him. So yeah, you could say Rodrigo might be a problem, but their gameplay won for Marcelo Bielsa. He's been known as the greatest coach by Pep Guardiola and Mauricio Pochettino. So recently said that he's like a father figure to him. So I think that man's got a lot to challenge any team in the Premier League, and I can see them in the top six playing Europa next season. Leeds United, they have come to the Premier League to do something, that's for sure. As you can see the game. Let's talk about their game against Liverpool. What I liked about Leeds United is they don't give up. If you go against them man for man, they will go against you man for man. They were in the defense also. They were just Like one guy was marking Mane, one guy was marking Firmino, one guy was marking Salah, one guy was cutting the ball that Wijnaldum was carrying from the midfield. So I think that's the game plan defensively, and they can go really fragile at times. I don't think that will happen against this Fulham attack. But yeah, talking about with other teams, yeah, they could go fragile. But the attacking Mario Ma, that's absolutely brilliant attacking from Leeds United. They just pass around Jones sometimes, and they switch sides. Their wings sprint ahead and cut the ball inside. They go the goal. Much like Barcelona and Real Madrid combined, you could say. So these two are, I think, these two games that I've talked about just now: Everton versus West Brom and Leeds United versus Fulham. I think the better one of them it's going to be Leeds United versus Fulham. Yeah, both teams are really good though. It's too hard to to differentiate which one is the bigger game, which one is the better game for neutral. Because Everton are also really good. You would love to see James Rodriguez perform. And in Leeds United, you'd see how Marcelo Bielsa wants to make a statement in the Premier League. He nearly made a statement last week. You could say he just made a statement, but yeah, he was one goal short. And wait, Liverpool had two penalties which were arguable. They were not clear. Uh, I think the second one was clear, and there was the mistake of Rodrigo. I just talked about him in the defense. That was his mistake. He's not a regular in defending. So, and the first one was really arguable. Although many people have said that it was a penalty, but yeah, any other day that could not have been given, and we'd see a 3-3 scoreline of the Premier League champions and the team who's just got newly promoted. So I think both games are absolutely fantastic to watch, especially uh, Everton and Leeds United's attacks. I don't see any surprise coming in these two games. But talking about surprises, we could see some surprise at Man United versus Crystal Palace, which is at Sunday 2 a.m. So it's the same night, the three games for Australian people, Australian time. It's Man United versus Crystal Palace, and you could see as there Jaha, or who was on the scoring books last time. Let me see who they played against. Yeah, against Southampton. Yeah, many people thought that Southampton would get better of Crystal Palace, but no. Crystal Palace's goal, Zaha's goal, just decided what Crystal Palace had to do. Decided the whole game. Yeah, and I was the last match against Brighton. No, against Bournemouth, and they lost on penalty shootout. Just penalty shootout, and many people were banking Bournemouth to win that game. So Crystal Palace are doing really good against Roy Hodgson. I think they've got two new signings. I don't really know who they are. I think they bought from Bournemouth. No, wait a minute. Uh, yeah. I think they bought from Bournemouth, from the team which is relegated. So they've got some good players at very less money, So well, they can do good against United. They've always done good against United, if I remember. But United, we'll talk about United in a little bit. Let's finish this off because that's like the main focus team. So let's talk about 4:30. So in the same night, there is another game. It's Arsenal versus West Ham. It's kind of a London derby. It is a London derby, I'm sure. Um, Arsenal against West Ham. West Ham being Mia Khalifa's best team. I've got to support it a little bit. Yeah, but Arsenal were really, really good against. Oh, I think it was Fulham United. Yeah, against Fulham United at Fulham's home. What's that called? Fulham's home. Oh, it's fading away from my mind. I can't really, remember things just when it's the time. Like you had to tell a really fantastic joke in front of people, and you keep remembering that all day. And when the time arrives, and bam, you forget it. That's what happens in my brain. Okay, I just realized I hadn't plugged in the microphone yet. Now I think you've got a better quality of sound. Okay, talking about Arsenal versus West Ham United. Uh, it's looking tough because you cannot just Arsenal in just a game against Fulham, where Fulham could have been 1-0 leading the second minute of the game. I don't see a defense that can really ensure me of a clean sheet from Arsenal. As only Mitrovic did something for Fulham, so you can really judge on that game. And talking about West Ham, even though they lost against Newcastle, they were the favourites, and I believe Ogbonna and players like those, I think they can be really good at these kind of games. These kind of games are for these kind of players. They have got a good record in set pieces. They have got many strategies on set pieces. Like you saw the game against. I remember the game against Liverpool 2 years ago, where I think Obama scored 2 goals, or nearly scored 2 goals. I remember he scored 1 goal and just nearly missed one, and both were from set pieces. I think it was David Moyes. No, no, no. I'm not sure who the manager was. I think now there's David Moyes as the manager. So yeah, they can do well. I'm banking on West Ham to draw or win the game. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 or 2-2, in my opinion. Okay, so talking about Southampton versus Tottenham, uh, both were the losing sides. Surprisingly, both were the favorites according to betting odds, but both lost 1-0 and 1-0. So it's gonna be really good game. It's in Sunday uh, on 8:30 p.m. on Australian evening. Uh, Jose Mourinho just said that you cannot judge him on the end of the season when he just been, you know, given to manage for the only second half of the season. Now we're the people who are gonna judge him. We can judge him now according to that. So I think he's how do you say it? He's let the pressure in for himself by saying that. So and it's away. It's on Southampton. It's gonna be tough. I can see it's gonna be tough. And uh, like we saw last time, Tottenham just played on counter attack. Everton with a team with more possession. I think if not more possession, they were the better team in midfield who were holding the ball better, and they were just playing like they would just their only well, how do you say it? The only game plan was that Sonny Boy, Heung-min Son, the Korean guy. The Korean guy would just go one against one, and then against the keeper and pass it to Harry Kane and score. That's it. They were just relying on Sonny's pace and a fierce press. You have got to say it. Just relying on that, and yeah, they couldn't score. So I think if they go on the same with the same approach. I think Jamie Ward free kick or a brilliant ball from Jamie Ward Prowse and a header. I think there's Danny Ings there. Yeah, Danny Ings, someone. He's gonna, just mantle Tottenham and gonna win 1-0. But if Tottenham go on and take the parent role in the game, they're gonna comfortably win 2-0. And yeah, I will predict Southampton 1, Tottenham nil, just for the sake of being fun to the neutrals. Okay, so Newcastle versus Brighton. It's gonna be a really, yeah, you'd guess I'd say boring, but it's gonna be a really interesting game to watch. It's just after the match of Southampton and Tottenham on 10:30 p.m. in Australian evening. Well, it's they're both attacking sides, and what I really like about Newcastle is their man Almiron. Uh, I think Almiron is really good. They bought him 2 years back, and I was closely watching him uh, even before they bought him. I have been playing with him in my FIFA team. The boys got something, I think the best thing about him is his motivation. He gives it all for the badge, and the fans like him. It's better to see Newcastle in the home when the fans are watching, not in these times of coronavirus. And how do you say about Brighton? They're a really attacking team, and they scored against Chelsea uh, last time with a curler to their right corner of the post. Kepa could save that, but he didn't, and that's interesting too. And well, I can see a goal fest in this game. So let's predict it to be 3-2 or 2-2. 3-2. If it's 3-2, it's going to be Newcastle. I'd hope it's Newcastle. And then the big game in Monday uh, in Australia. It's in the same night though. It's just some hours after you know Newcastle and Brighton happens. Chelsea versus Liverpool. I think they've just left a little gap between these two games, Brighton and Newcastle, and Chelsea and Liverpool for the build-up. You've got to build up really strong in this game, Chelsea versus Liverpool. Chelsea have bought the Premier League according to people. We'll see in this game. And Liverpool have barely made any transfers. I think it's minimal or something. Guy, he doesn't even start. He really gets on the squad on the bench. I think he gets on the bench, but he's really used. So, uh, for a neutral, it's going to be a really good fest. But I don't want Chelsea and Liverpool both to win. I don't really like Liverpool and yeah, Chelsea because they bought many players. Uh, I don't know. I don't know who to support in this game. It's going to be a tough game to watch for me because I don't want this game, you know, for anybody to win. So let's see. I'll post more videos about this game, this and the United game. I'm just doing a brief review of the games. So then, after 2 hours and 30 minutes of the game, Chelsea Liverpool, we're gonna see Leicester City versus Burnley, and that's the game that I'll be watching more eagerly than anything. I think Burnley also didn't play any game last time, just like City and United. And Burnley have a tough defense to beat. It can be a 1-1 draw. Leicester City, of course, Vardy scoring fluently, and I think what's his name? I'm forgetting it. I always forget names and stuff like that. So I can't. Oh, it's really shameful. Reading a badge of Leicester City and forgetting the guy's name. Okay, we'll talk about him when I remember. Yeah, Vardy is really good going forward. I think he's the best striker in the Premier League. You could say Aubameyang is coming close, but he's the best striker in the Premier League, even if Messi and Ronaldo play for City and United. So yeah, it's tough to argue against this kind of facts. I think Leicester City are gonna dismantle Burnley if it's not a 1-1 draw. You just have to see how they play in the first 10 or 20 minutes. If they get a goal, they're gonna dismantle Burnley because Burnley are only good parking the bus. Sundice is men, they're very tall and strong, but I don't think they can stop Vardy. Jamie Vardy is the man to watch. And Soyuncu in the headers or Mendy, whatever. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a 3-0 Leicester City or 1-1 draw. Alright, so Aston Villa versus Sheffield United, I'm not got much to say on this one. Good going forward, and Sheffield United can also, challenge them. But I think Aston Villa are just gonna get a goal through or two. So I watching if you could just write in the chat. So it's Wolves versus Man City. See, I think I can see a great improvement in Wolverhampton Wanderers. But against Man City, who have just exited the Champions League by a tough defeat against Lyon, I think that they've just got all to take. They will, I think, dismantle Wolves 3-0. No Espirito Santos, man. Although I trust Ray Patricio's goalkeeping, but I don't think it's difficult to stop Man City unless Sterling does a Sterling. He misses with the Titanic music on. I think the only thing Rui Patricio can do in this game is play the Titanic music so that Sterling could whip the ball up in the moon. So I can only see a 3-0 win or a 5-1, 4-1 win for Manchester City. So that is all, guys. We've talked about all these 10 games, and I think it's going to be a really great week, especially because City and United are back. I think the game to watch definitely is Chelsea versus Liverpool, but if we leave that game, I think the game to watch is Manchester United versus Crystal Palace on Sunday, 2 a.m. in Australian time. And you could see anything happening in this game, but if Man United get a penalty, they're gonna win because Bruno's gonna score definitely. But I think Jaha can do wonders too. It can be a 2-2 or a 2-1 for Crystal Palace. But to predict, I can predict the other way around as well. So guys, tell me in the comments, have you enjoyed it? Of course, it's new for me, so it's like some guy who doesn't know anything about YouTube and stuff, wondering how to speak with a very steady camera. I'm gonna do with my iPhone next time. I'm just checking, how it goes with the laptop camera. It's not got a good webcam. None of the laptops do. It's gotta fit something to make it good, like the professionals. Okay, so we've just gone over all the games, and to just quickly go over the predictions. Everton versus West Brom, the first game. I think it's going to be 2-0 for Everton. Leeds versus Fulham. I think it's going to be 3-1 or 3-0 for Leeds United. Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. It can go any other way, 2-1, Crystal Palace 2-1, or Man United 2-1. Arsenal versus West Ham, I think it's gonna be 1-0 for West Ham, a win for West Ham. I can see. Yeah, Tottenham versus Southampton. It's really tough to predict. I can see Southampton drawing this game 1-0 or 1-0 for Southampton and Newcastle. So I've predicted two in this game, or maybe three if Crystal Palace does it. And Newcastle versus Brighton, I can see a 2-2 draw. Chelsea versus Liverpool, I can see Chelsea winning 2-0. If Gerrard slips and Dembaba plays, if Gerrard and Dembaba play for each side, it's gonna be a 3-0 because they're gonna get one goal for free Chelsea, or else I can see a 2-0. Unless the City versus Burnley, it depends on the first 25 minutes of the game. If Leicester score, they're gonna do a 3-0. If they don't, it's gonna be 1-1. I think. As in the 70 odd minutes, they're gonna be goals, one each. If Burnley's defense isn't broken, because Burnley are gonna try only after 70th minute. And Aston Villa versus Sheffield United, I think it's gonna be 2-0 for Aston Villa. And Wolves versus Man City, I can see a 3-0 for City, or a 5-1, or a 4-1. So that's it, guys. Subscribe to my channel. That's really important because it's gonna be everyday live stream and predictions and news, everything you love about football. Not just the Premier League, about La Liga, the important games which Messi and Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid are gonna play. Serie A, which Liverpool, sorry, which Cristiano, Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Atalanta as well, you can say, are going to play, and the French league, Liga, which, PSG, about Marseille, it's Olympiacos Lyon, and of course the Bundesliga. I really love the attacking sides of Bundesliga. They have go for attack policy. They go for attack every single time. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to watch the games coming over. And yeah, please subscribe to my channel, please. Okay, see you guys.